Hello, this is Nathan Willett from Cold War Kids, and you are listening to Bothering the Band. How's it going?
It's going well, man. Welcome to Bothering the Band.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me.
You have no idea. This is a huge honor, and we're both like lifelong fans of the band. And I have to throw this out there. There's 15 or so years ago, I was listening to Robbers and Cowards while taking the crosstown bus in New York City to a job. So that younger version of myself is super fucking stoked right now. So
Amazing. I love it.
yeah, man. We got some real dumb questions for you now that
Okay, cool.
sappy stuff is out of the way.
Yeah.
Do you have a nickname? We're just gonna break the ice.
I'm a Nathan, but everybody wants to call a Nathan a Nate, no matter what. And especially because if you came of age when I did of the Warren G. Nate Dogg Regulate hit, Regulators Mount Up, everybody was just Nate Dogg, Nate Dogg. So it's weird because I literally only this week started thinking to myself, I'm not even gonna try to be Nathan anymore. I just need to be Nate, you know?
Okay,
So that's it.
so we'll embrace it. It's not Nathaniel, is it?
No, no, never, no Nathaniel.
Okay, all right. Um, so like I said, listening to the album brings me back to being 25 and taking that crosstown bus. What album, song, musician makes you go back, time travel in your brain to being 25?
25, man. I remember probably right around there. Let's see. We used to have a couple friends that went to USC, and when Amoeba was new, we would drive out. Like we all kind of lived in like Orange County, Long Beach. When Amoeba Records was brand new in Hollywood, we would all like drive out to LA together, go hang out with our friends at USC. Some guys who lived in the dorms there. We went to Amoeba, and one time I bought the Velvet Underground box set on CD, and like all of us hanging out all night, smoking cigarettes, drinking wine, and just like poring over this box set and like the booklet that came with it, and like just reading and listening to all this stuff. And like it was like the craziest vault of riches that I scored on, that everyone was just like, it was a game changing moment. Now I will say that's probably not 25. It's probably a little more like 22 or 3 when that came out, when I got that, but same ballpark.
Oh man, that's an amazing tale. And also, coincidentally, last time we were at Amoeba, Abby bought a Velvet Underground shirt.
I did.
Okay.
That's cool.
Very good. Yeah.
We're all about the fun stuff. So the new album is a self-titled album. What's your favorite other self-titled album? And I have some suggestions here for the group in case we need to.
Tell me what yours are.
Well, I have Weezer, the blue, affectionately known as the Blue Album, is great.
Yep.
Metallica, and then The Clash as well.
Ooh.
Technically, the White Album isn't the White Album by the Beatles a
Yeah,
self-titled album?
self-titled. That's right.
So those are some. I'm sure we could dive into
These
more.
are all really good ones. Um, Rancid is a fun one because I think it's their first one was self-titled, and then they had like their fifth one, I think, was also self-titled, which is weird and probably unhelpful for marketing sake. But it's weirdly one of my favorite of theirs. It's kind of like where they really, it's like more sort of 80s hardcore. And they never went back to that style at all. The like following 5 records, they kind of went back to like a more traditional sort of punk rock they have been doing. But I love that album. And so that's my answer. Rancid's second self-titled album is my favorite self-titled.
That's a that's Abby, do you have any? Can you think of any more?
Earlier today, I was listening to Gorillas.
Ah,
That
Oh
that one's
yeah. Was
pretty
the first one
good.
self-titled?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? I mean, there's a million, but that's what comes to mind, probably just because it was on earlier.
I wonder if there are more, there has to be more bands with multiple self-titled albums. That's pretty great.
Wait, say the question again.
It wasn't a question. It was just I think it'd be cool to search if any other bands have multiple self-titled albums.
Right. Yeah, it does
Chicago,
seem
Chicago does. Tech,
they have more than one
technically,
self-titled.
technically, apparently, Led Zeppelin does.
Okay.
Right. Led Zeppelin just was doing the one, two, three, four thing. Peter Gabriel was doing like I think he was like just calling his albums Peter Gabriel, but like sort of like forced the fan to give them a name to separate them. I forget what the story is there. But I know his like first four were just like I don't think he was calling them different names. I think they were just like Peter Gabriel, and then you'd have to like the name became like whatever the record cover was. Again, you guys, you're gonna have to do some follow up on that.
I got a bunch here. We got Duran Duran, Bob Dylan, Foghat. You are correct on Peter Gabriel. Sammy Hagar, Whitney Houston. Wow, it keeps going.
I'm writing all these down.
I'll just send you the link.
It is a weird. All that being said, the self-titled because it's been a thing where when we're doing press for it and people are like, "Oh, why the self-titled?" and I start to you fall into the kind of like stock answer, which was like, oh, most people do it at their first or second or third record, and this was like our 10th. And so there seems like something novel about it. It also is the thing, but I'm glad we're doing a deep dive on it now because it is a weird thing, and it is in ways a very like rock cliche cheesy thing. That something about the 10th record seemed like I always kind of avoided the idea of, just the self-title because I think because in a way, in almost like a rock journalism way, it was almost like, oh, so the assumption would be like, oh, you're out of ideas. So you're just calling it self-titled. Um, but of course, here we are now and 20 years into our thing. And it's not a lazy thing. But it is almost kind of like a reset thing. We're not giving you a new idea. We're giving you like you know, doubling down. The band name is the record name.
Here's
And
a
I
fun
always thought
fact. Oh, sorry, go
before you
ahead.
say that fun fact, I'm trying to think of examples. I know that there are examples of the band that releases their self-titled record with a song of the same name. And I can even picture like MTV it being like, oh, who would this be? Who's done this? I know artists have done this where it's like Silverchair, the song is called Silverchair and the album's called Silverchair. They're not the example of that, but I'm trying to think. I know there is somebody who's done that. Tripling down. It's a Google search away, but I'll leave that to you guys.
So, Rancid actually has three self-titled
They have a
albums.
three.
According to this
Whoa.
list, it was
Okay.
in 92, 93, and 2000.
Whoa. Yeah. Rancid 2000, which that's what's fun about that is like the 2000 one, just everyone refers to it as Rancid 2000.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the Peter Gabriel thing too. It's like the fan finds their own title, and that's so fun.
Which it turns out is the case with Weezer too, who
Yeah,
all of their albums are actually self-titled and known by colors instead.
Right.
pretty wild.
Which okay, so that's like this idea is not obscure at all. It's very mainstream, but like I guess I'm curious how they get away with that. I feel like their label would be like, we hate this so much because it's making it hard to like sell this thing. But I don't know.
I feel like if you crush it out of the gate, you can do whatever you want.
Sure. That's exactly. I mean, I guess it's that simple.
I mean, the next Cold War Kids album should be just like no title, like at all.
Yeah, untitled.
Go a symbol like a fucking
Or
Prince
or
thing.
second, yeah, or we have a song called Colder Kids, and we have another self-titled record.
Or it's called second self-titled. It's very Dada and meta and like all that shit.
Yeah,
Well, speaking of, I was going to save this for later, but the new album is fucking incredible, top to bottom. I identify with Double Life so much, like as a dad and a writer, and it's perfect, man. So there you go. Um,
amazing. Thank you.
yeah, yeah. So some really dumb questions. When you were growing up, did you have a designated celebratory restaurant you went to after Little League games, after graduation, or after any of these things?
Yes, it was called Lamppost Pizza.
Okay. Lamppost Pizza. Shout out. Is it still around?
Yeah, it probably is. I actually had a friend of mine from high school who was like asking me if I was going to be around for something, and he was like, "Some of us are going to Lamppost." I was like, "Damn." Like I live in LA, and it's really only an hour from like where I did most of my growing up in like Anaheim area, Orange County. But it's a strange relationship because I feel like it's culturally on kind of the other side of the world. And also since we've been touring, I just like, have I always kind of thought I'd move away further, but here I am, not that far, but also very far. And it's so I have a weird relationship with going, everybody has a weird relationship with sort of quote unquote going home or whatever that is. And so, yes, I was just thinking about Lamppost Pizza. Your question is very relevant.
Well, continuing on growing up, did you or anyone you know have a clothesline in your backyard?
No.
No clothesline. Okay. Am I the only one here that grew up like the clothesline? Abby, did you?
We didn't have a clothesline, but we did have like several like racks that everything went
Okay.
on to not use the
The
dryer
rack.
as much.
Yeah. Clothesline is pretty like a Little House in the Prairie, a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
growing up in Orlando, Florida in the 1980s
Hmm.
is Little House. Okay. I as we get older, our bodies change. You got any new hairs anywhere on your body?
Mm. Um, Yeah, I probably do. I took to doing a thing actually where I wanted to grow my hair out, but this area here was getting real gray. So I kind of did like this. I think it's kind of a brilliant hack where I kind of like did like a shave under here move, and it got and now it's kind of like which is not to say that I'm like anti-gray. It's just that the texture of the gray, it gets real like coiled and not so smooth and silky. So I feel like it was a kind of a brilliant thing that I did because I just I had my hair cutter. I just was like, let's keep doing that, and then it kind of shade, and then I was like, oh, this is good. I kind of like I took some years off, and everything just flows better. Maybe everyone's been doing this all along. I don't know, but it seemed to me like I didn't hear it somewhere. I feel like I invented it.
You definitely did. You're cutting edge.
Yeah,
Get it?
the first time. Yeah,
Okay, who's the first person you call when you get good news?
my wife.
That's a great answer. Who's the second person?
Easy, kind of boring. Let's see. Second person is going to be. Probably, I'm sure one of my bandmates, probably Moss.
Yeah.
Get some good
Okay.
news. Like it depends the nature of the news. If the nature's like, yo, we got this, uh, whatever, some like this tour's happening in in whatever time in whatever place, we call each other like, that's fun, stuff like that.
I love it. So wholesome and communicative and mentally
Yeah.
healthy. Um, okay, this is real dumb. Goldfish or Cheez-Its?
Man, it's kind of hard. Cheez-Its. Cheez-Its are so good. Dangerous though. Real dangerous.
Yeah, I'm neither. I'm a fan of neither. They're the same, right? They're the same flavor. Is that?
They're the same. Well, no, I think a Cheez-Its is a different taste. I also would never touch either of them if I didn't have kids and that
Yeah,
they
of
like,
course, of
you
course.
know,
Yeah. I could go. If depending on the kid route, you could go like Pirate's Booty or Veggie Straws. Is that in your wheelhouse as well?
definitely all of the above. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Those are like kind of on the healthier spectrum, relatively. Maybe not Pirate's Booty. Veggie Straws has the word veggie in it, so you think it's somehow better for you.
Yeah, totally. Okay. Similar vibe. Sour Patch Kids or Cold Cuts?
For sure, cold cuts for me. Sour Patch Kids have always been too sour, too
Yeah.
sour. I'm not a that style candy guy.
Yeah, me neither. Abby was shaking her head at the stupidity of that question. However, it really says a lot. Like, where is he gonna go sweet, sour, that, or is he, hearty sandwich boy? Um, so can finish wrapping this up. How do you feel about Swiss cheese?
I like a Swiss cheese. I like a pepper jack cheese. I've recently it's funny, any touring musician I feel like probably has a complicated relationship with Subway. And for us, like we spent so much time like every day, on a small budget in a 15 passenger van going to Subway. A lot of them at gas stations across America. And for many years, I couldn't even, think about it, let alone eat it. And then more recently, I'm like, I find myself going into a Subway and getting a sandwich and feeling really good about it. And so I'll get a Swiss cheese or a pepper jack cheese over at a Subway.
Oh man, that's excellent. I'm starving right now. It's always it's like it's dinner
I wish
time
we had a
on the East
sponsor.
Coast. Yeah, Subway sponsor us.
We did some festival and we got Subway cards. Um, and yeah, I'll hit a Subway. It's great. We also had a time when there was a time when Chipotle was getting in the music game and they were handing out year long cards that you could just go in once a day and get um kind of like whatever Chipotle you wanted. And that was kind of hot for a while. And then a couple months into it, I was like, just the thought of Chipotle made me want to gag and die, and I couldn't even think about it. So I gave it to my friend, and he was really happy, and he still goes there all the time. But something about it's kind of like a all you can eat buffet type of situation where like you cross that line once, and then you're like, I can't even think about it anymore.
Yeah.
It's revolting.
Well, I mean, we would go if we could pick a sponsor, it'd probably be Taco Bell. Um,
Mhm.
if you could pick currently a band sponsor, it doesn't have to be food either. It could be, I don't know, Best Buy or something. What would you pick? Levi's?
Band sponsor. Levi's is nice. We also, we Levi's will do a Cold War Kids kickdown. That's for sure. We've kind of got them in our pockets, so to speak, in our five, what are they, five pocket denim. No, we have the. I mean, that's part of like a band culture that is always kind of interesting, like the swag element. That has been real good to us. But what is we at Fender guitars is like how could you for me how could you have like a better sort of like they don't officially sponsor us but like we have a friend there that is just the dude who rules and like shout out to Fender they're like we get guitars from them and we get amps from them and it like yeah it's harder for me to think of a better sponsorship. We kind of what would be better? I don't know. Maybe if we had a Sugarfish sponsorship when we were getting like designer sushi all over the country during tour, that would be nice. Maybe a Benihana sponsorship. That
Yeah,
could be nice.
hibachi sponsorship.
Yeah, just kind of walk in, show them your card,
You're not gonna
sit
get sick of
down,
that at all.
start. shooting stuff. Yeah.
You're like, we've seen
Yeah,
the
that
onion
might,
volcano, bro.
right. Yeah. No frills tonight.
Okay, so at some point, all of us here rented our last physical movie. Do you remember what it was?
Man,
It's tough, right? Or we could go like
that's tough. Yeah, that's tough.
last like naps like last song you illegally downloaded for like a mix CD. I'm trying to think of these last things that only our like
Yeah,
generation really
yeah,
knows.
yeah. These are, yeah, that's tough. I mean, I definitely was, I am of the age where um the closest thing I can relate to is I remember because it's in the year 2000 was when I was sort of like on and off living at my mom's old apartment. And that was the first place that I'd dial up internet and getting all these like Radiohead B-sides, that type of, whether Napster or whatever it was. And then I remember um, listening on her stereo to the Southern California radio station K Rock when they premiered the Radiohead album Kid A on
Wow.
the air in its entirety, start to finish. Um, and I had headphones. It was like one of those. It was like, whatever, Thursday night, new Radiohead album is coming out. We're gonna play it start to finish. I sat in front of the stereo. I plugged in my headphones. And I listened to the whole thing start to finish. And that is like, I mean, I never did it before, never did it since. Like, what a weird little moment in time that was, and how just like how strange. Like, that seems to say something about how pre, like, not pre-internet, because downloading Napster and all those things were very fully in effect, but like kind of just obviously pre-streaming, and like and yet just like peak CD sales
Yeah.
in there.
Peak CD sales. The internet is fledgling.
And like Radiohead's putting out music, and artists are putting out music, and Weezer was the same thing, because that was the big Weezer thing. They had put out Pinkerton, and then the next album there was all these B-sides and demos and stuff that were on the internet that they didn't end up putting out on the next album, which was that Green album, which was another of their self-titled, we'll call it a callback. But I was that was when it all changed for Weezer for me, where I was like, oh no, they went a different direction. I don't like it anymore. And that, I think, is a pretty commonly held feeling, which is that it's like, oh man, why did you go that direction and never ever to return to a style that I liked more? But they hinted at going further in the Pinkerton direction with, again, coming back to your question, which was, that was the era when I'd be downloading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Downloading Kid A. Listen to Kid A on the radio. That's pretty time travel-y.
Yeah.
Cool. Good answer, man. Okay, so what was your last vacation?
Last vacation. Um, I have a strange relationship to vacations, as again any touring musician does. It's like touring in ways feels a lot like vacation. Um, it's hard for me to get excited about going and checking into a hotel when I'm home. Uh, so I don't do it well. I don't do it well. Um, but when's the last vacation? I don't know. Like, probably more of like a day trip kind of guy. Also, we just got back from a 7-week tour, so my brain is a mess, just scrambled.
No, no. I mean, I think you touched on why it's fascinating because it's like tour feels like vacation, and then vacation feels like tour. Like there's moments of that feel like
Yes.
you're schlepping your shit and you're checking in and dealing with those logistical like BS. I don't know.
And
I think
also, you have a
awesome.
tour manager, or we have a tour manager, I should say. We're lucky to have a tour manager. So when when a band and crew is checking into a hotel and you might be getting 7 to 10 rooms and you're waiting in line and you do the thing, you get your room, you go. But then when you go, like, let's say like the idea of going like with my family, or let's say like, some friends and waiting in line and just like chatting with a concierge, or taking my sweet time and enjoying myself. It's like, no, we got shit to do. Let's go. Like there's just this feeling of like, um, when you're on tour, you have a lot of free time or none at all. And so when you have a lot of free time, it's like there's two ways to live. You kind of like, you might start drinking, or you might start just kind of like, maybe, for me, like, you could get real depressed if you just kind of don't have a system in place. You got to get some stuff done. So yeah, I think it's just the idea of walking into a hotel room and just kicking my feet up, turning the TV on, and letting the hours pass is really almost dark, I would say. Just kind of weird. Yeah.
Wow. I asked that. I don't know if you can tell some of these dumb questions might have references to song titles and whatnot,
Mm,
but we used
I'm
to
seeing that now. I'm
vacation.
seeing that now. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite Cold War
Yeah.
Kids songs. I love that song. Again, listening to you guys for most of my adult life, which is weird to say and really think about. Fucking A.
Yeah. Well, there's real truth in that, and that is one of those things where that song is one of our, one that I think people do think of when they think of Kohler Kids. And I realize that it is one that actually is very true for me. I know that for when I was a kid, we did not vacation much, but the idea that, uh, like, when I was a kid and my parents got a divorce and life was, growing up and a teenager and all this stuff, that I never took a trip, never took a vacation, never went. I didn't, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of like the kind of like latchkey kid of that, was myself and all my friends. I didn't really know anybody. Like, we were all, very middle class and doing just fine, but not from the kind of families that went places. Which is I only learned, much later. It's like there's a lot of people that are like, oh, we went all over. We went to Europe, or we went to Florida, or we went to somewhere. And I'm always like, man, I've never been anywhere. I've never been anywhere before we started touring, which is always, so that's the subtext of we used to vacation.
I'm right there with you. I'd say same. I've never went anywhere as a kid until I was old enough to pay for it myself.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, this leads to Abby wants to ask you a question about Jackson, Wyoming.
I
Okay.
don't think it was a question.
I have a note here that says bring up Jackson.
No, you played in Jackson a couple winters ago and I was there. That's all. It
Yeah.
was an
Oh,
amazing show.
great. Um, this was this with Ben Harper and the Whalers.
Yes, it
That's
was.
like a rad lineup. I remember
It
all of us kind of like
was.
certain like that type of mountain uh show type of deal is usually like, could be a little janky, but we were kind of like there before. We were like, the Whalers and Ben Harper, like, this rules. This is the most chill audience and like group of people that, like, yeah, it was really rad.
Yeah, that's their big concert series every year. It's so much fun. So yeah, thank you. It was a great show.
Yeah, 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 good.
Okay, so can we both live in Florida now? Can you come to Florida your next go around? I don't know who we have to talk to or bribe with Subway or whatever.
um yes, just like $10 subway cards and we will get there.
That's so cheap. I think we'll spring for 20. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'd like to get there. I think there's a decent chance that happens, soonish.
Well, we'll be there no matter what. And since we talked about this and just touring vacations. What's your favorite airport you've ever been to?
Favorite airport, the San Francisco airport is a really good one. Um, uh, the Burbank airport is the smallest and easiest airport that is close to our house. Our life is a constant push and pull between LAX, which is a nightmare, that sometimes can trick you into wanting to go there because you could fly direct to places, but Burbank is its like little cousin that is much closer and so easy, but then you have to do a lot of connections and there's always the risk that comes with that. But neither of those are really my favorite. Airports are really evolving at a rate where their restaurants are in coffee and everything is just like it's crazy how much better it's getting all the time. So, I don't know. I'm there's a lot of good ones. SFO.
We were just in Newark, and I hadn't been
Mm,
to Newark Airport in a while, and it's like a fucking mall. It's like when
yeah.
did Newark get a nice airport? It's wild. Do you have a preferred pen or writing tool that you use?
I like a ballpoint, but I lose a pen often. I lose if I have a favorite pen. I'm actually glad you mentioned that because I really it's kind of like guitar picks. Like you almost just need to get like a silly amount, like a 24 pack, and just know that you're going to lose 12 right out of the bag, and then the other ones will be like around.
Yeah, you got to buy. I like this one, so I buy a bunch of them on Amazon.
Yeah.
Papermate Inkjoy Gel 0.7.
Uh-huh. Looks good to me.
It writes perfect until it starts running out. Then you throw it away. Um, okay, what time do you go to bed when you're not on tour?
A range probably between 11 and 12.
Okay. And what's the blanket pillow situation for you personally? Are you going like two pillows, pillow between the legs? What are we talking?
I like a donut neck
Okay.
pillow. I like to be sleeping on my back. I I like if I'm gonna really tell you the whole shakedown,
Yeah.
I like earplugs. I'll do a mouth guard.
Okay.
I'll do a weighted blanket. I'll do my circle donut pillow. And I will, not every night, but many nights, I will do uh an eye cover deal.
Nice. So you're snug as a
That
bug.
all that right there, that makes me feel deeply secure. I'm committed to the sleep. I put all that stuff on. I'm like I'm gonna be asleep in 10 seconds.
Man, I love it. Sleep is so personal. So, if you can ask the right questions, you learn a lot. Also, question is the bed question based off of hospital beds. There you go. So just tying that one all together. I
Hmm.
like it.
Hmm.
I'm warming up to the weighted blanket. I've been looking them up,
Hmm. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
but in Florida, it's
I
tough
love it.
because
I love it. Yeah, it's hot. You don't want to
it's
be hot,
hot. It's
right?
hot a lot.
Yeah. I mean, there's only so many months in LA that it's gonna work, but it's working right now.
Okay, do you sleep on your back, your side? Are you moving all over? Are you pretty sta I mean, you're so covered in that cocoon of
I'm so covered in stuff. That's the idea, is almost like don't let me move. This is gonna prevent me from rolling.
that's so funny. Okay, as a musician, a touring musician, a pro, what's your favorite type of music venue to attend as a fan? You got the concert hall, you got a little
Man.
club, you got an arena. What are we talking?
Uh I mean I like a club, but probably a theater is real nice. I'm not going to a lot of shows, but um seeing like we just I went to go see Nick Cave like some months ago at the Orpheum in LA, and a seated theater experience with a great artist at a piano is as good as it gets.
I agree. I just saw Bob Dylan do that at a theater.
Yeah.
Him and the piano is fantastic.
Oh my God. Where was that?
It was in Fort Lauderdale,
Yeah.
and it was only $60. Isn't that wild?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking A.
So you're a late Bob Dylan fan.
No, no, Bob Dylan fan for my whole life. It's just he was
Okay.
here.
In addition to,
Yeah.
are you a late Bob? Are you listening to Rough and Rowdy Ways?
Oh, I listen to Rough and Rowdy Ways. Yes.
Hell
But
yeah.
obviously I know the older stuff more.
Yeah. I love Bob Dylan, but I love and I love the newest one, and I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that he gets another one out.
Yeah, that's kind of the boat I was in where I was like, I can't pass this up. It's too good. And then it was perfect. I was in the orchestra too, and it was kind of like an intimate blues show. There was a six piece.
Yeah,
He was on the piano most of the time, and it was very intimate. His voice sounded great.
that's great. We got to see. I've seen him a couple times. I went to see him also on this tour. It was uh, uh, in New York, and we were doing a couple press things and some like kind of some little stripped down shows, and we realized that he was in. Oh my God, I forget the name of it. It's like just out north out you go out of Manhattan, out of Queens, and I forget what the I forget what it's called.
Like
Um,
Tarrytown.
no, uh, it's like not. It's I don't know what you call it. It's not upstate. It's like but it was yeah. I don't know like a incredible old rad theater, and same thing, just like a the I was we were just like this is as good as it gets. This is like quiet and intimate and the coolest show. What the hell is that venue called? Like a C word, like I'll think of it. Anyway,
Cold Spring.
nope.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay. So what's your favorite type of venue to play?
Uh, you know, let's see. It it is one of those like just depends. Like I mean, like when we have got to like we did a summer, we opened for Kings of Leon, we did a summer, we opened for Tears for Fears, and they're all you go from like arena to outdoor amphitheater, um, and then doing our own club shows in between, and it's the best variety because just doing any you can be completely spoiled by doing the best thing, and the best thing in the world becomes really routine. So like you know, playing a massive outdoor, amphitheater for even 4 nights in a row, you start going like that was cool, but not as cool as the couple nights ago, but then do something different, play an arena and go like, whoa, that's totally different. Then you play that outdoor amphitheater again, you're like, damn, this is so cool. It's variety, getting to do the variety of all those things. It's like it's incredible. There's all these pros and cons, but really like a theater where you can hear everything obviously is going to be the best for the artist.
Yeah. Ah, so fascinating. It's like we're diving exactly what we want. Via dumb questions, we're diving into the mind of our favorite artists. So do you work out?
I do. That's one of those things where 20 years into touring, man, if you're not working out, you're probably losing your mind.
Yeah. What do you have a routine, like a workout routine?
I have this little app that's called Kilo.
Okay.
Maybe this is another one of the Subway things where I get, my Kilo app gets comped with the shout out. But it's just a little workouts, do them anywhere.
And then are you what do you usually wear? Are you wearing anything like specific, like headbands?
No headbands, just a shirt and shorts.
Okay.
Yeah.
some people are very specific about their workout gear.
Sure.
I don't, you might be like spandex. You're like, I need to move. I need to stretch.
Oh, I mean, workout shirt and shorts is what I'm wearing, not just any old.
Can you do a split?
No.
No. Okay. Can you do a pull up?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh man, I bet you. I think I would cap out at 5. I think I would be hurting at 5.
5 is a lot of pull-ups. Pull-ups are really hard. 5 is a lot. I guarantee most people who don't regularly do pull-ups can probably do 2 at best.
Yeah, pull-ups are pretty tough. And on that note, if you could interview anyone, live or dead, any musician, live or dead, who would you interview? In the vein of bothering the band, so very stupid or everyday questions. What would you ask them?
Nina Simone is one of my favorite artists. I feel like she's very prickly and she would be very annoyed at dumb questions. So if in this sort of hypothetical, fantastic, idyllic version, if she was really happy and really down to, entertain some silliness, that would be my favorite thing in the world.
Oh man, that's a good
What would I
answer.
ask her? Just like I would ask her about so many songs, so many songs that she recorded, and but what specifically? I don't know. I don't ask her a lot of things. I can't think of what right now.
So you break down the walls and then you ask her feelings about Swiss cheese and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's when
yeah.
you really get to the nitty gritty. It's a really good answer. So as we wrap this up, what's next for you right after this? We always like to know what you're doing after this.
Right now, I was gonna be like, listen, I gotta go pick up a kid at school.
Okay.
That's my literal right after this.
And then for the
After
band.
this in life, we're figuring out some more touring stuff. We have an EP that comes out for Record Store Day that I'm super excited about, that has a bunch of songs that did not come out on this record that are really good ones. And then it's time to start kind of like working up the whole thing again, working on some new songs and how to record them and how to do something, what the next thing is going to be. So it's kind of like the finding out what the next thing is going to be is its own process. So that's where we're at.
And touring to Florida for sure.
Yes.
Well, we're gonna let you go pick up your kid, dude. Thank you so much. This is a literal dream. Big fans. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate the questions. Take care. Hopefully see you in Florida.
Walk in the park, a beautiful day. I'm already planning my escape. I should volunteer, but who could I help? I can barely take care of myself. Rather lay in bed, pretend there's something more. When I wake up, we will be just like before. Yeah. Why do I think so much about what might have been? I'll ruin everything to get you back again. I wanna feel too much, I'm letting go of us. That's when I fall in love, that's when I fall in love. I live in a movie, practicing lines, a brain in a jar behind my eyes. I must have seen Birdman 17 times. What makes you uptight helps me unwind. I can't play the hero and the villain too. I don't want to